This will be a high-level look at how to enter a new purchase requisition in the QCC system. Start by looking under the Finance branch of the main QCC tree and open the AP Purchasing folder and look for the Purchase Orders Requisitions link. A single click will open that window. This window has two modes. It opens in the Requisition mode to allow you to do the entry of new requisitions. The Queue Management mode will be looked at later when we're looking at approvals. We're going to click on the green plus sign to go into Entry mode. You'll see that this window opens with some information pre-filled. The top line you won't be able to enter, as the system will auto-fill the requisition number once you're done entering the items and you save this requisition. The next item you'll need is a vendor. Whether you have the vendor number or you know a partial name search, you can look him up. With the actual number, go ahead and highlight all the 9s and type in a valid vendor number if you have it, and hit the Tab key. That will look it up and fill in the vendor name as well as their address at the bottom. If you don't have a vendor's number, click on the binoculars to do a lookup. This screen will allow you to do a search by any field that you know, typically by name, with wildcards or a partial search. I'm looking for bird brain, but I'm going to search for bird. I typed in the bird and hit enter, and it came back with these options for vendors. I'm going to choose number 4 here. That's the one that's on Penn Ave. That's the one I was looking for. So I have to take note of which line this caret is on. I'm going to click on line 4, make sure I've got that vendor selected, and then return to the top, click on the green return arrow to send that information back to the purchase order as we go along. The next field would be the PO type. This is important. It's pre-filled for you as a regular purchase order. You can typically leave that untouched unless you have a special type of requisition that you're entering, such as a bond or a blanket PO. Those are typically done through the purchasing department. The rest of the fields, somewhat self-explanatory. A description is a free format, short description, submitted by, most likely your name. The purchasing department should specify how they want that formatted, whether it's uppercase or what specific information you'd put in there. The site information was already pre-filled for you. That's based on your assigned site that was given to you when your user account was created. This site links to a group or the school site that you will be routing through. So the information here shouldn't be touched unless you are one of the few that will be purchasing things for multiple sites. Then you would have a list of sites to choose from down here. The next section allows you to specify one or more accounts to charge your requisition to. You'll have the opportunity to type it in directly or do a lookup just like we did for vendors. There's also a history. If you had previously entered an account, that history shall be here as well for you to select. Just be sure to double check your account string selection, as a lot of them look the same. I'm going to run through the lookup. Since the account I chose has negative dollars, we can't spend any more out of this one. I'll change these to wildcards and see if I can find some money in a budget account somewhere. Click on the binoculars. We'll have to pick an account. Even though there's no money for Site 17, we'll try account 1 and click the green return arrow. If there were more account strings that I should be assigning, this is the place to do it. I would add a row and do the same process over. I'm going to keep simple and just stick with one account string, even though we have $0 to spend. We'll try to show you what happens when we try to spend money we don't have. The next step here is to start entering items on our requisition. I'm going to click on the items icon at the top, and this second screen opens to let us put in one or more items on this requisition. You'll notice item number 1 shows at the top. Print is almost always yes. Don't select no unless you want it to be hidden when the actual PO is printed. The split is important, but with only one account we don't have to worry about splitting it. But by default, if you had 2 or more accounts, you could choose to assign a certain percentage to each account. There are other choices that get a little more complicated, so we'll leave those for now. Quantity, why don't we select 5, and units is a free-form text field. You can put whatever you like in there. Hopefully it conforms to your purchasing department's wishes. I'm going to type each, and I'm going to have a cost here of $2. Once I hit tab, it does the calculation for quantity times cost and fills in the total cost for me. Again, the tax obviously is dependent on what you're purchasing. I believe labor is not taxable, but purchases are. And we're not going to enter a stock number because we're not using stores. The description is the important part here. You can put in whatever you like in whatever format your purchasing department is asked. Once I'm satisfied with my description, I can decide if I'm done with this requisition. Was that the only item I was purchasing, or am I going to enter a new item, a second item? So the options at the top here give us many choices, trying to save you time opening and closing screens unnecessarily. If I choose Save Item, Add Item, I'll click that. You'll see what happens. That item 1 gets moved to the bottom, and it starts entering item 2 for us. Again, we just have to worry about the quantity, and the unit cost is the important parts here. What am I ordering here? Order 10. You'll notice I have to highlight this blank in order to type over it. Lots. $5 and enter. $50 I'm spending on erasers. All right, so I'm done with that item. I've got my 2 items, and I'm going to click Save Item and review the 2 items that I've entered. When I'm satisfied that I've done it correctly, don't forget to check on the right side here. There's no discount and no stock item information. Then I can return back to the main screen. This is the warning message that you're going to get because we used an account that has no money in it. Fortunately, you're set up to just warn you, and so you click OK and it will bypass that message. Next, we're going to click Save and Return. This assigns the requisition number. I mentioned odometers at the beginning, and it has assigned 200717 as the requisition number for the entry you just made. You might want to take note of that so we can look it up again. So you just type it in and hit enter, and voila, you're back looking at the same order. You successfully entered a requisition. Congratulations.